The mid-season ranked reset is right around the corner, and it's extremely important you get off to a hot start. Your LP gains will be the highest right away, so you really want to win as much as possible to ride that wave. To help you guys out, we're going to be breaking down 10 champions that are super easy to pick up, but very powerful for the current meta. You only need a few games in these picks to really get the hang of them and start seeing consistent results so that you can smash your placements. Just before we get started, if you want to improve fast and get the rank you've always wanted, then go to SkillCapped.com. Stop wasting your time grinding thousands of games only to see no progress. With SkillCapped, you'll uncover the secrets to climbing ranks fast that only take a few minutes to learn and can be immediately applied in your next game. The best part is, it's completely risk-free to try as you're kept safe with our rank up insurance. If you don't significantly improve while actively using SkillCapped, then you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Get the rank you've always wanted by clicking the link in the description below. Alright, now let's jump right into having a look at our top lane recommendations. One of the easiest yet most powerful top lane champions you can play right now is going to be Kayle. The majority of Kayle's damage comes from auto-attacking, so positioning is really the only mechanical thing you gotta worry about. That being said, a 3-item Kayle with ultimate available is going to mow down anyone in her sight, so positioning becomes much more irrelevant at that point. The champion has a very clear path to victory, being that she scales like a monster, so if you can farm efficiently and stay alive early on, you're going to see great results in the pick. Our Master of Minutes course on CSing is a really great tool to help you out if you're looking to improve at farming. A new build has provided Kayle with even more power in these past few patches, being the Static Shiv Rush. You actually have strong pushing power by rushing the item, something that Kayle desperately lacks from her alternative build. Static could very well be nerfed again in the coming patches though, so just watch out for that. If so, then going the standard Nashers into Riftmaker and Rabadons is perfectly viable too. Rune Page is going to be fleet footwork with Overheal, Alacrity, and Last Stand. Run Bone Plating and Unflinching for secondaries. Anyone can pick up this champion and win games with her right now, as Malphite is a free elo generator. Mechanically, Malphite is very easy to pilot. The only mildly difficult part about him is landing ultimate consistently. You're allowed to build full tank, but have the damage output of a bruiser champion due to your E and W damage scaling off of armor. One of the biggest perks to playing Malphite is that the laning phase is way less important on him than the majority of other top laners. The champion is always going to be relevant throughout the game due to the threat of his ultimate, so you never have to worry about being slightly behind. This makes Malphite extremely easy to pick up and find success with right away. The build you'll want to run is an Iceborne Gauntlet Rush into Sunfire Aegis 2nd and a situational tank item 3rd. Grasp is going to be the optimal keystone in melee matchups where you can trade with autos consistently, while Comet is best in range matchups where you've got to sit back and poke. Moving on to our jungle selections, there's really nobody as easy and effective as Rammus. For a champion without a skill shot, unless we count his ult, the gank power he possesses is incredible. The fact it's nearly impossible to mess up a gank with Rammus means you can pick him up and start impacting games immediately. As long as you have a plan going into each game, finding early kills should not be an issue. Whichever lane provides you with the best gank setup should be your priority, as Rammus CC combined with something like a Nautilus hook should be an automatic kill every single time. Being able to build full tank and still output considerable damage is a massive luxury for Rammus as well. Especially in the lower ranks, we see so many heavy AD comps played with players really liking their Yasuo and Yone mid, and then you'll have something like Lee Sin or Master Yi in the jungle. In this case, the value from rushing Thornmail is absolutely massive. Really strong build you can look to run right now is a Thornmail Rush into Even Shroud 2nd and Abyssal Mask 3rd. Best Rune Page is Aftershock with Font of Life, Conditioning, and Unflinching. Grab Triumph and Alacrity for secondaries. Another jungler that is near impossible to not be impactful on is Maokai. Much like Rammus, the gank power of Maokai is so impactful and very easy to execute. If you have Flash available, you should be getting something out of every single gank you go for, whether it be the enemy's flash or a kill. The threat of a Flash W from Maokai makes him so lethal and very difficult for enemies to play around. Mechanically, Maokai is super simple, so it really allows you to focus on the macro side of things that make you a better player. You're rewarded so much more with Maokai when you're playing good macro, as setting up before objectives with saplings can completely zone the enemy away. If the enemy team does decide to try and walk into choke points, Maokai R is a ridiculously strong counter, as it's difficult to hit out in the open but super easy in tight corridors. It's a hybrid build for Maokai right now with the Demonic Embrace Rush into Radiant Virtue 2nd and Abyssal Mask 3rd. Phase Rush is the best keystone rune with Nimbus Cloak, Transcendence, and Water Walking. Roll with Cheap Shot and Treasure Hunter for secondaries. A mid lane champion who really doesn't get played as much as he should is Swain. Sure, the champion isn't the most flashy, but when it comes down to an easy yet powerful pick, few are on the same level as Swain. Swain plays quite a bit differently than your average mid laner, as he's not as reliant on positioning and actually wants to be in the middle of fights. This makes the champ quite forgiving and easier to see success with as soon as you pick him up. The tankiness that Swain provides lets him soak so much damage and be such a disruptor with the constant slows from Rylai's passive. Even if you don't land a single skill shot, just being in the middle of a fight and taking the enemy's attention away from the rest of your carries is a huge perk to Swain. 3 items is where everything comes together, as you'll have the Zhonya's by by then and be nearly impossible to kill. For runes, you'll want to run Conqueror with Presence of Mind, Tenacity, and Last Stand, grab Conditioning and Overgrowth for secondaries. For our second mid lane selection, a champ we can guarantee you'll see results on if you're consistent with the pick is Malzahar. Malz has always been one of the weaker laning champions, but in recent patches, that weakness has been greatly alleviated. This minigame of reaching Lost Chapter as quick as possible actually makes the champ quite fun to play. By starting the game with Mana Crystal and a refillable potion and taking Futures Market and runes, if you can farm well, you'll have enough gold to buy Lost Chapter on the 4th or 5th wave. This will allow you to start pushing out waves and not have to worry about running out of mana as often. At level 6, do your best to play around your jungler. Mal's R should nearly guarantee you win out on any 2v2 and can really get the ball rolling. Liandry's and Rylai's is such a massive spike that you're looking to play towards with Mal's. The burn damage from Liandry's and slow from Rylai's synergize so well with the dot damage in Mal's kit. For the rune page, it's Airy with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch. Run Freeboots and Cosmic Insight for secondaries. If you're an ADC main and Misfortune is not in your champion pool, you're missing out on free elo right now. The meta lethality build Misfortune can run is so powerful and makes the champion even easier than if she were to build crit. You don't even have to auto attack to be effective with this build, as lining up an ultimate to follow up on your team's engage is often more than enough to make an impact. If mechanics are not your strong suit, but you enjoy playing ADC, then there's no better option than MF. If you can play the champion with a support who has strong CC lockdown, Misfortune is even more disgusting. Duo up with a Nautilus, Rel, or Leona player, and the kills level 6 onwards will be of plenty. Core build that you really can't go wrong with right now is a Ghostblade Rush into the Collector 2nd and Cyrilda's Grudge 3rd. First Strike is the optimal Keystone rune with Magical Footwear, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Best secondaries are Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm. We're going off the board with this second bot lane selection, as it's not going to be a traditional ADC. Seraphine, played as a bot lane carry, is highly effective and extremely underrated. This video is all about the easiest champions to climb with right now, and Seraphine bot fits that narrative insanely well. Sure, the champ is a bit more skill shot reliant than most in this video, but it only takes one ultimate to completely change the outcome of a game. The incredible wave clear from Q and E gives Seraphine the ability to insta-shove waves and acquire that also important priority in the mid game. If you can get the priority over mid wave and force someone on the enemy team to go catch it, you then have a 5v4 for your team where finding a catch play with R is a guaranteed win. Playing around those objectives and tight corridors is where Seraphine thrives, as hitting multi-man Rs becomes 10 times more easy. Build you want to run is Liandry's Rush into Archangel's 2nd and Rylai's 3rd. Pick up Airy for the Keystone rune with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Gathering Storm, followed by Biscuits and Cosmic Insight for secondaries. Moving on to our support selections. First up is going to be Heimerdinger. Heimer is super easy to pick up and win with right away as long as you follow these core steps. First off, the pushing power of Heimer is incredibly strong, so you want to use that to acquire the level 2 jump on the enemy. At level 2, you use that advantage to poke the enemy while they are still level 1 and are forced to back off. You then begin pushing the enemy in under tower, and at that point, go drop a ward so you can be ready for a jungle gank. As you are poking the enemy bot lane under tower, you actually want the enemy jungler to gank you, as you'll have your turrets set up and want to fight inside them. By this time, the enemy bot should be about half health, and if they are, you're at least going 2 for 2 if you get ganked. This is the amazing part about Heimer. You can perma push the enemy under tower, draw so much jungle pressure, but still come out on top and end up wasting so much of the enemy jungler's time. Obviously, this is subject to change based on matchups, but trying to hit that level 2 jump and getting the push in lane is something you want to try and play for each game. Core build for Heimer is a Rylai's Rush into Liandry's 2nd and Zanya's 3rd. Take Comet for the Keystone rune with Mana Flow, Absolute Focus, and Scorch. Free Boots and Biscuits are the best secondaries. Taking a look at a melee support here, one that can provide a lot of strength even if your first timing the champ is Nautilus. Not Q shouldn't even be classified as a skill shot, considering how ridiculous the hitbox can be at times. As long as you can land the spell consistently, everything else in the champ's kit is very easy to execute. At level 6, Naut is one of the most brain dead yet powerful all-in combos. If you can get in range to point and click R on the enemy, then you guarantee at least a few seconds of chain CC. Even at level 2, if you get the jump on the enemy and they are still level 1, flash autoing to proc passive and then following with Q is a foolproof combo that will net you so many kills over time. Roam power of Nautilus is also amazing, as with Moby Boots, you can just run right up to the enemy, root them with passive, then follow with a guaranteed Q. Core build for Nautilus is Even Shroud Rush into Zeke's 2nd and Knight's Vow 3rd. Glacial Augment is the best Keystone rune with Hex Flash, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Bone Plating and Unflinching are the way to go for secondaries. So that's going to be all for this one, guys, but if you want to improve fasting at the rank you've always wanted, then go to SkillCapped.com. With premium courses for every role and skill taught by the best players, SkillCapped is the perfect platform to help take your game to the next level. Take our Wave Control course. While you wait for your next game to start, you can learn freezing, fast pushing, slow pushing, bouncing waves, the list goes on, all in just a few minutes to maximize your improvement rate. Or maybe you just like seeing your opponent's health go to 0. Then you'll love our trading course. We even have a skill test at the end so you can see how good you really are. Players just like you are leaving leaving 5-star reviews and raving at how helpful they are. That's not all we offer though, as every week we release 10 brand new Smurf commentaries where a challenger player teaches you how to climb out of the exact rank you're stuck in. If you're looking for something more personal instead, then we got you covered with one-on-one coaching from our trained challenger experts. All that seemed too good to be true? Well, don't worry, we're backed by a rank up guarantee. If you don't significantly improve while actively using SkillCapped, then you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below and get the rank you've always wanted. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Good luck in solo queue, and we'll see you in the next one.